Hello. Today I wanted to share what is in my mind about the connection, the portals actually. They are the portals. Um, Several months ago, I talked about portals being for the development, for enhancement, for learning ages 2 to 5, and then the toddlers, terrible twos, and then teenagers. I connected them, and what we didn't do properly in toddlers years, we can correct in later in teenagers, because it will be too visible for us as a parents, as society, as people who interact with those teenagers. And now I am curious about connection between menopause, and teenage years, and actually toddler years, because whatever happens in childhood, adverse childhood experiences, for example, and if it's not worked through during the adult years or earlier, it will manifest itself in very uncomfortable ways during menopause. It's very curious how nature works. When we are given time to learn, to grow, and if something breaks in, how they say, very important periods, crucial periods for development for human being, if something there that doesn't go the right way, it will manifest itself later and later. And menopause for women, and since we are so special for creating life, we have special life cycles that are very important, not only for us but for everybody else around us. And you can ask husbands of women during menopause, they are different and they are harder to handle. And women themselves during that period are harder to understand themselves. Everything that helped, everything that worked before doesn't work anymore. And so it's the crisis is always opportunity to growth, for growth. But to understand this crisis, and to understand that this is period for growth, we have to go back to the past. We have to be open to be vulnerable with the past. Yes, we want like just to pass it through, go by and forget. Why would I bother when I'm 60? What happened with me when I was 2? It seems it does matter. It does matter what happened with you when you were 2 or earlier, even though you're in the kind of end of life. But really, really, I'm not in the period of menopause, but I feel like it's the beginning of the new stage, very important stage for for a woman, because we are given already, we are shared whatever we needed in a childbearing age with society, and now the period is self growth in a more kind of free way. uh, Free way in a sense that all the responsibilities are done. I know it's a quite blunt statement, and it's not entirely true. We always have responsibility. If we have grandchildren, yeah, there is a responsibility. But if we go through ourselves uh, for internal growth, I guess there's the priority, the prioritized responsibilities before ourselves, because the result will be a ripple effect on everybody else. And I believe that a preparation years, you never know when it starts menopause, but the preparation years, like I'm 45 almost, and I do want to know what happens there and how I can be more free and self actualized person by that time, because I can see the challenges differently. Uh, well, my curiosity about this stage of life is already giving me a kind of VIP pass for that time, and my autoimmune, I think, gives me some advantage for that stage in understanding how to manage it and how to think about it and how to accept it, because being with Hashimoto's and dealing with all flare ups taught me how to accept this condition as a ticket to unique understanding of life, a ticket to a broader perspective, because you have to understand life in a holistic way to stay sane when you have autoimmune and not be like a victim of circumstances which is by itself not rational even. And I'm very efficient. I'm efficient. I say I'm lazy, but it's efficiency. I don't want to spend my energy anywhere which is like just spending it. I want to be very efficient. So I work with my mindset, I work with my feelings, with my body to to the efficiency for myself, for my energy. My energy is limited. Um, I apply many frameworks like human design, my health issues, or actually a health uniqueness. You can tell everything, everything in my life gives this understanding that I want to be efficient, I want to be practical, I want to be strategic in my life. So it doesn't mean that I'm too rational and I'm not emotional. Emotions are the way to be more strategic in life. It's data. It's data we have to include everywhere. It's data we a data and instrument of shaping our reality. So we better know about it and use it, because they are not just given just for fun. They are given for us to function to the uh, full potential of human being, and of course malfunction because of the emotions and because of the situations in life like trauma, adverse childhood experiences, and sometimes we are stuck there and we have to unstuck, we have to accept, we have to grieve, go through the whole cycle before menopause to feel the abundance, to feel the expansion. And a very curious explanation was made on the webinar I was here today about menopause and trauma, that teenage years are the time of expansion and becoming, and menopause years are about getting smaller. Like, how how can you get smaller with all the experience, with all the feelings, with all the everything that you received from life? How can you get smaller? No, you cannot. I don't believe in that. You can connect to something bigger. Maybe you don't connect that extensively with humans. I mean, not as a nurturing individual, like one on one with your kids, because they are grown up, they need expansion, extension, whatever they need. and you are not in use to that extent anymore. You're nurturing nature. Then when, then where to apply yourself? You go expanding your understanding as a woman. You go higher. You go wider. You teach. You share your wisdom. You accept contradictions, paradoxes, all this stuff as a part of life with grace, with compassion, with understanding that you form throughout the years. And for that, I believe we need to be free from trauma, or at least be befriended in a way that it was our experience. It's essential part of our life, but we reframe our perception of it in a way to be more efficient, to have more fun after 50 years of age, like 50 years of experience of life. Yeah, it's about all expansion. Really, I I had this experience after I gave birth to my younger one at age 41, and I ended the lactation period, and I felt the freedom. I don't need to do, I need, I mean, I'm still a mother. I still invest in my children by being there, being present, being compassionate, being a human being, but not as close as being pregnant, giving birth, being all the time with like body to body with my child, or a lactation period, body to body. Yes, it's beautiful and it's divine experience, but it's not forever, right? And I felt this freedom when it's ended, and I'm like, I'm done with childbearing, bearing. I'm done with pregnancies. I'm done with all these bodily investments in lives of other people. It's quite, I don't know. It sounds stupid even. It's sounds funny how it goes, how I explain it, this feeling, but it was the freedom. It was free. It was feeling of freedom, and now I'm approaching the age of menopause, and I'm excited to see what's there, what's new opportunities there, and the the thought that I heard recently, that the change seen from a safe place is exciting. The change seen from the dangerous place, or perception, neuroception is a new word for me. So it's when, how unconsciously your nervous system sees the situation. You might think about something, it's safe, but if your body sees as a dangerous, you will feel it, and that's neuroception. So when your neuroception says it's safe, then you will be excited about the changes. If it says it's dangerous, not safe, you will be on the roller coaster in the menopause period. So better to sort it out before, I guess. That's what I'm doing. And since I'm working with parents and I started to work with teens, this goes perfectly in my work. And since we have the kind of later after career child births, like later beginning of motherhood, then the age of menopause will be kind of overlapping with teenage years, and it's a certain amount of stress for both, which can be prevented in a way that it can be transformed. It can be transformed, I believe, in something beautiful and mutually beneficial for both menopausal mothers and teenagers. That's my work. That's my impact. Thank you for watching. And ding.